Well guys, Minecraft 1.11 is now here. This update, dubbed the Exploration Update, has just been released and I thought I'd make another edition of Minecraft updates in a nutshell. As always, I'll be focusing on the survival aspects of the update, so let's get straight into it. The Woodland Mansion is a brand new dungeon that spawns in the Roofed Forest biome, can be located with a Woodland Explorer map which is sold by the brand new cartographer White Robed Villager, and contain a few new mobs called Illagers and some loot chests too. These massive structures consist of many different rooms and some are even hidden and need to be broken into. The first variant of Illager you'll likely find in the Woodland Mansion is the Vindicator, who yields an axe when they notice you. They do a high amount of damage with their axes on hard difficulty, so some semi-decent armor will be needed. Well, unless you feel brave, of course. They could drop emeralds upon death as well. The mini-boss Illager is called the Evoker and has two different attacks, summoning little Vex Illagers which fly around yielding iron swords to attack you, and also by summoning Fangs, which are essentially bear traps that rise out from the ground to snap you up. These guys drop emeralds too, as well as the Totem of Undying. The Totem of Undying can be used to literally prevent death. If you take a fatal hit from a mob or you fall to your death, if you have the Totem of Undying equipped in either your main or your offhand, it will prevent you from dying, give you absorption hearts and regenerate your health for a short period of time. Next up is the Llamas. These friendly creatures spawn in the Extreme Hills biome, have multiple skins, and can be tamed, and upon taming, you can place a carpet on them as a saddle and a chest so they can store things for you. The amount of storage a llama has depends on its strength. Some only have a dismal 3 slots of storage, but some can have the maximum amount of 15 slots of storage. You cannot control the llamas even when tamed, but when you bring them along with you with a leash, any nearby llamas will follow it to form a caravan. Finding end cities is a lot more rewarding now that the Shulker mob now has a chance of dropping the new Shulker shell item. Obtain 2 of these shells and put them on the top and bottom of a chest and a crafting table and you've got yourself the new Shulker box. These essentially act as backpacks, allowing the player to store items in them and then breaking the Shulker box without losing the items inside it. One can also colour and rename the Shulker boxes too. And no, you cannot store Shulker boxes within Shulker boxes. Also, dispensers will place shulker boxes and a piston pushing a shulker box will break it, so there's actually a lot of opportunities for fully automatic storage systems with these shulker boxes. Also in the end, you can find naturally generated end return portals scattered around the end islands. Should you wind up getting lost or your elytra can't make it back to the central end island, these return portals can prove to be extremely useful and convenient. The Observer block is a brand new redstone addition to 1.11. While one can still use old methods to detect block updates, Mojang decided to add in a special block which serves the same purpose. They are created with 6 cobblestone on the first and third rows and then 2 pieces of redstone and a piece of quartz in the middle row. The Observer block is used to detect block updates and output a redstone signal upon an update happening. I don't personally play around with redstone a lot, but I can certainly see how appealing these blocks are to you redstoners in terms of creating fully automatic redstone contraptions. It's no lie that in 1.10 I felt like I had to eat way too much. Sprinting and jumping at exactly the same time absolutely ate away at my hunger bar. You'll be glad to know that in 1.11 they nerfed exhaustion levels a lot. For example, sprinting and jumping at once only exhausts you a quarter of what it did before. A whole bunch of other actions, including breaking blocks, jumping, attacking enemies, and even the hunger debuff also don't affect your hunger bar as much anymore. The only thing that wasn't nerfed was regenerating health from your hunger bar. You will actually lose 50% more hunger bar by regenerating health. There's a new game rule called Max Entity Cramming. Currently defaulted at 24 entities, entity being a mob or item, entities will either start disappearing or suffocating if more than 24 entities are within a single block. Something to note for those of you who have massive overpowered farms in your survival worlds. This can be amended, however, with the /game rule max entity cramming command in creative mode. There are now curse enchantments in Minecraft. 2 brand new enchantments have been added to 1.11 and affect the player in a negative fashion. The first is the Curse of Binding, which means if one equips an armor piece with this enchantment on, they cannot remove the armor piece unless you die. The second is the Curse of Vanishing, which essentially means that if a player dies with an item that has the Curse of Vanishing enchantment on it, it will not drop upon death. It will permanently and irreversibly vanish. There's a bunch of new items and blocks that can now be used as furnace fuel. All of the items you can now use in the furnace are right here, and the amount of fuel they'll provide in the furnace is displayed above. Shields have received a major buff. One of the reasons I've never really used shields previously, aside from them blocking up a large portion of the screen, is because they weren't that useful aside from blocking skeletons shooting at you. The shields can now prevent you taking blast damage from creepers, fire damage from burning zombies, and wither skeletons no longer inflict the wither effect on you if you have your shield equipped and used. The shields are now much more viable to use in survival mode now, in my opinion. And now we move on to some generic, smaller, quickfire changes. In desert villages, the bottom part of the well is made out of sandstone and not cobblestone. The durability bar is now much brighter and therefore easier to see. Error messages when the player tries to sleep in a bed during the day now show above the hotbar and not in chat. You can now right click on a flower pot with a plant in it to remove the plant. Blazes and Endermen now take damage from splash water bottles. Creepers who explode while under the effect of a potion will leave the respective lingering potion effect behind. Guardians killed by fire now drop cooked fish. Elder Guardians now drop wet sponge as opposed to normal dry sponge. Skeleton horse drops are now correctly affected by the looting enchantment. The green-robed villager, previously only obtained by summoning it, has returned. It's called the Nitwit Villager, spawns naturally in villages and as zombie villagers, but don't offer any trades at all. Zombie villagers now have their own sounds. Farmer villagers sell 5 to 7 apples as opposed to just 5, and 6 to 10 cookies as opposed to just 6. You can now name villagers much easier by simply right-clicking on them with a name tag. And finally, on a fun little final note, if you name a Vindicator Illager Johnny, it will yield an axe and attack anything nearby aside from fellow Illagers. Always nice to see a fun little movie reference in games. This is of course a reference to the movie The Shining. And there we have it, my friends, the 1.11 Minecraft update in a nutshell. I really do hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Do be sure to share it with your friends and drop a like rating if you did find it useful or enjoyed it. Hit that subscribe button if you don't want to miss out on my future Minecraft content. And on screen is going to be my Python Plays Minecraft Vanilla Let's Play and also a random video for you to go ahead and watch. But for now, my friends, it's time for me to head off. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.